Hello guys, today we're going to read about Abraham Lincoln. Great man, great words. Social studies subject. Grade 2, level 3. So here's the fun facts. At 6 feet 4 inches tall, Abraham Lincoln was the tallest president. We all know he was the tallest president. Abraham Lincoln's wife, Mary Todd, was from Kentucky. People did not think Lincoln was a handsome man. A little girl named Grace Bedell wrote him a letter saying he should grow a beard. He did. So in this book, President Abraham Lincoln was famous for speeches he gave. In this book, you will learn why President Lincoln is so well known for words he spoke and wrote. You will learn how his words made a difference during a very important time in his history. So this book is written by Kirsten Cashore. Number 1. Lincoln teaches himself. President Abraham Lincoln is remembered for many things. One thing we remember is a wonderful way he used words. When Lincoln talked, people listened. People stood the bad weather for hours to hear him speak. They loved reading his writing too. How did Abraham Lincoln learn to read and write so well? Lincoln spent less than a year in school. He never went to the college at all, but he was a great reader for the time he was very young. Lincoln was born in 1809. He and his family were pioneers who lived in the farm's shelter with a simple log cabin. Lincoln was too busy helping on the farm to go to school at the time, but he wanted to learn. He taught himself to read and write. He studied what he read. He taught himself math. Abraham Lincoln decided to become a lawyer. He could not go to the law school, so he taught himself law. 2. Lincoln debates with Douglas. Lincoln worked as a lawyer for many years. He also worked as a congressman, which means he spoke for the people of Illinois in government. When Abraham Lincoln gave speeches, many people came to listen. In 1858, Lincoln ran for the United States Senate. He ran against Stephen A. Douglas. Lincoln asked Douglas to debate with him. A debate is a discussion about different opinions. Lincoln and Douglas debated 7 times. Many people came to hear them speak. They talked mostly about slavery. Lincoln was a part of a group called the Republicans. Most Republicans thought that it was wrong for people to be enslaved. They hoped that someday slavery would end. Douglas was a part of the group called Democrats. In 1858, many of the Democrats did not agree with the Republicans about slavery. They thought that slavery should be allowed. They did not believe that slaves should have rights. In the end, Lincoln lost this election to Douglas. But the debate made Lincoln a famous man because he was such a great speaker. People wanted to hear what he had to say. When it's time to choose a man to run for the president, the Republicans chose Abraham Lincoln. 3. Lincoln talks about slavery. The biggest topic in the presidential election of 1860 was slavery. In North, slavery was not legal. In South, slavery was legal. Most people in the South were afraid that Lincoln became the president, he would try to take away the slaves. Lincoln made many speeches about slavery. He tried to calm the fears of the people of the South. He also made it clear that he thought slavery was wrong. In his speeches, Lincoln said that slavery went against America's tradition of freedom. He knew that Revolutionary War was fought so that colonies could gain their independence or freedom from English rulers. Lincoln was against slavery because he believed in freedom for all people. Many people were afraid of what Lincoln might do, especially in the South. Lincoln won the election. He became the President of the United States. 4. Lincoln talked to Southerners. Most of the people in the Southern states did not want Lincoln to be the president. Why? So they decided they did not want to be the part of the United States anymore. They decided to form their own government. At the election 11 Southern states eventually succeeded, meaning they broke away from the rest of the states. Lincoln was very upset. He thought that it was not legal for a state to decide to succeed. Always a speaker, he tried to use words to convince the people of the South to change their minds. Lincoln was hoping for a peaceful solution to the crisis. He said that the United States in the tradition for people to work together even when they did not agree. He told them that he did not want to go to war. He said that American people could find a peaceful way to end this disagreement. Lincoln's speeches did not change things. In April of 1861, the North and South went to war. More Southern states seceded. The North called the Union, and the South called the Confederacy fought against each other. The Civil War had begun. 5. Lincoln's wars during the war. The Civil War lasted from 1861 to 1865. So that means it would be last for it would last 4 years. Some of the most important things ever written by the president were written by Abraham Lincoln during the Civil War. Lincoln wrote the Emancipation Proclamation. Emancipation means freedom, and a proclamation is the announcement. On January 1st, 1863, Lincoln read this announcement of freedom. He said that all enslaved people in the Confederacy was now free. On November 19, 1863, Lincoln went to the Gettysburg Plains in Virginia. A terrible battle has taken place there in July. He gave a speech called the Gettysburg Address. In the speech, he honored the people who had died in the battle. Today, the speech is thought to be one of the finest ever written by the president. On December 8th, 1863, Lincoln made a proclamation about how the South would be treated after the war. In his speech, he said that people of the South would not be punished as long as they agreed to follow the law. He talked about his plan for helping the southern states join the country again. Lincoln also wrote for many letters during the war. He wrote letters to the man in charge of the Union Army. He wrote to families of soldiers. Lincoln's letters showed that he was a wise, patient, and fair man. In April 1865, the Civil War ended. The Union had won the war. Lincoln began to think about the big job of uniting the country again. Many people were still angry about the war and the end of slavery. On April 14th, an actor named John Wilkes Booth shot Lincoln with the president and his wife were at the play. Booth thought he was helping the South. He just made it harder for the country to heal. President Lincoln died the next day. The man who had spoken such beautiful words was now silent. 6. We remember Lincoln. On December 6, 1865, the 13th Amendment became the part of the United States Constitution. This law put an end to slavery in the United States. Even though the slavery was free, they were often treated poorly. Many people in the South stayed angry with the North. Some Northerners treated the South badly. The war was over, but the country was not peaceful. Abraham Lincoln had the faith in the American people. He believed that at the end they would do the right thing. He died knowing that our nation would live on through good and bad times. We remember Lincoln as the man who kept our country from splitting in two. We remember his thoughts and his ideas, and we remember his words. Maybe like Lincoln, we can find ways to write and say things that make a difference in the world. So, that's enough. But let's go to the glossary section. Enslaved, made to live as slave or owned as property. Independence, to be free from another people or places. Shelter, a place where people live. Tradition, something that is done a certain way for many years. So write to it. Think about something important that is going on in your school or in your country. Write a short speech that tells what's going on and how you feel about it. Give your speech in the class. Try to help others understand how you feel about what's going on. Write your ideas on the separate sheet of the paper. Well, many times there was happening on Vietnam is that there was a crash between two vehicles, and I felt very bad about it. But in this country, in my country, it's very normal. So goodbye everyone, and I see you in the next video. Bye bye. Have a great day.